Hello, social media family, YouTube family. This is YouTube Live, Brett with Anvil Music and Media. I'm coming to you live on this Friday. Um, so excited to be here today. It's been a week, it's been a while. It's probably been about the last probably 5 or 6 days since the last time we have discussed and talked. As you know, I've been on this, people call it soapbox, but it's really this discussion about artificial intelligence and the future of where we're going. And today is part two, man. To part two. This is part two of artificial intelligence and the awareness it brings us. The authority of this space is ever growing. It's ever evolving. Um, you have to continuously be in a learning sort of. It's a learning curve. You have to. It's a learning process. There's so much on the table when it comes to talking about AI and artificial intelligence. So we're definitely going to get right into it. But I'm excited. Part one, as many of you may know, we did part one. We talked about part one. Started part one of this series on last week, and it was it's just a good conversation. Just as review, we were talking about the abundance of the technology of AI and how we're headed into this abundance and how the value will shift things. So as you're joining today, please let me know where you're watching from. Once again, this is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. So excited to have you. This is part two that we're talking about AI and abundance. Um, so it's an exciting time for not only what we will see in the future in the terms of energy intelligence and how that affects our labor. You know, there is an inverse relationship between labor and uh, uh, intelligence, but there's also a cost that's associated with that. So we're going to get right into it. I see we got a couple people in the chat. Mr. Javid says, hey, Javid, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat today. So excited, guys. And we're talking about AI and intelligence and the future of it and the abundance that we're sort of coming into. And in part one, I really addressed how now capital is moving faster and faster. We're not just talking about billions of money, billions anymore. It's literally in the trillions being thrown into AI chips and sort of this technology that's going to help catapult us into the future. So AI and abundance. This is part two. Part two. You guys are interested? Please hang around. We're going to get right into it. Feel free to comment. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I'm also excited to see what's going to come out of this conversation because it's going to have some twists and turns. But you should be excited just like I am about it. Boss Tay Tay J, what's going on? It's good to see you in the chat. Good to see you. I always acknowledge the chat of people in. So as you coming in, feel free to let me know where you're watching from. This thing about AI, man, it's slowly becoming the invisible worker of our workforce and the invisible worker of the future, right? It's starting to replace a lot of things, a lot of jobs. It's starting to replace, and today specifically, we're gonna sort of give the parallel of AI and UBI. So today's video is pretty much AI versus UBI. Now UBI is basically universal basic income, and UBI has sort of been around for a while. It's been philosophers back in the 1600s used to talk about universal basic income. Well, the definition is simply everybody gets the same income. It's distributed no matter how rich or how poor you are, and it sort of has come back into the picture the last probably 10 to 15 years because companies and the wealthy and those who are, let's see, your Elon Musk of the world, your Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, of course, who I effectively call him the Steve Jobs of today, of this generation. These are all people who have really they've sort of started to talk about this policy or this worldwide global policy of universal basic income. And so it really, like, you got to see how it sort of ties into AI and the structure of artificial intelligence as we know it. So Let's see. Somebody says wealth isn't distributed equal all around the world. And no, it isn't. This is just a concept. This is a concept. So in terms of AI and how it sort of will throw us into the future even faster, you gotta understand the automation of work and that whole process. Everything is becoming automated, literally everything. And so at one point in time, the history of UBI, we'll call it UBI, but I'm talking about universal basic income is what I'm talking about. At one point in time, there was an industrial revolution, and that more specifically was in the US. And the revolution basically displaced the labor market. Machines became automated. You had instead of 5 or 10 different people making one product, you had an assembly line. So just like in that revolution, AI is looking and it's threatening to replace not just physical jobs, but the knowledge work, right? If you're talking about lawyers, writers, I mean, I'm a writer. How many writers do we have here? Coders, analysts, all of these jobs are sort of threatened by AI, just as like in the past. So machines took over muscle, right? There was manual labor, and machines sort of took over that. And then, so now AI machines are literally taking over mind. So literally, what we think every day, and you can get an AI machine to sort of replicate that. So let's see. So UBI basically has been a response to the technological change. There is a historical parallel, guys, and so I'm talking about basically I'm talking about the Industrial Revolution as a history of how we sort of have come through the timeline of the human race. The Industrial Revolution was probably back in the 1930s, 1940s. This was the rise of labor unions and welfare programs, all of these different programs to sort of help people get back on their feet. Obviously, this was and so I'm really reaching back to the history of what sort of happened. This revolution allowed for families to really establish themselves financially, or to begin to sort of start over, right? And so we had the rise of labor unions, we had the rise of welfare programs, and also public education. And now there's a reason why I'm saying this. The reason why I'm talking about all of this now is because you got to understand that companies were at a point where they needed the workers, right? But because of the industry revolution, the revolution of machines, the revolution of machinery, and so forth and so on, the CEOs or the owners of these huge companies, like, it could have been a Ford company, like Ford of course made cars, for example, because they saw the investment in their company. They needed people to come and work, right? So that sort of established the public education system. They said, okay, we will partner with the government and say, hey, government, let's establish an educational system that is public, that we can send people to schools. We all went to them, basically. And I'm talking about the U.S., right? Right. But they would send people to schools, and all of us have been to school, public schools, because for the simple fact they wanted them to matriculate through coursework and through schoolwork, so that they can become jobs or workers for to be on the workforce. And that's literally what's been happening for the past 80 to 100 years, literally. It is an antiquated system. That's why AI has sort of come in and even disrupted how we sort of from age 5, when you're in first grade to kindergarten, whatever you would call it, to 12th grade. I know other countries, you may have different education systems, but this is here in the U.S. And by the way, my name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. We're talking about AI and abundance in this video. This is part 2. If you get a chance, go and watch part 1. I definitely think you will sort of learn some of the backstory, some of the things that we've been talking about. This has been sort of like this has been a real big project for me to sort of dive into and learn this response of AI and how AI is a catalyst, right? Which with each turn of this, with each turn of the decade, there becomes a sort of a technology that will disrupt. It'll disrupt the social sector. It's going to disrupt the economical sector. It's going to disrupt the educational market and the educational sector. And that's what we're literally seeing today. So that's I really talked about the historical parallel of the industrial, and I want you to understand the industrial revolution. In order to see your future, you have to go back in the past and sort of compile some clues that will show you what your future is going to be. Let's see here. Porsche says hello. Hey Porsche, what's going on? Summit Boho 1234. Oh man, thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. Thank you guys for coming in and joining. So let's get into AI's role, right? So AI can massively, right? We're talking about artificial intelligence. AI can massively increase productivity and generate wealth for corporations and nations, right? It's all about the wealth. It's all about the money. People say follow the money. Where does the money go? Some people, you follow their money. It's in their pocket. Some people, it's in corporations. Some people, it's in banks. Some people, it's in government. So you really got to follow the money of the wealth and the rich. And AI's role in this is to really increase and really double and triple the amount of productivity that happens in the world. It's like the turnover just goes faster and faster. Universal basic income's role is to ensure that this wealth isn't just concentrated in the hands of a few companies or elites. Now, it's a controversial subject, universal basic income. I must say, UBI is a very controversial subject because some people do not believe in controlling the freedom that I will say us as Americans, we have in sort of this capitalistic society. It sort of goes against the grain of the capitalists, right? So it ensures the wealth is evenly distributed. Don't ask me how that will happen. In my personal opinion, that's not that sort of extreme case, because governments will figure out a way, and the wealthy and the elites will figure out a way that this will not happen. But that's pretty much the definition of universal basic income. So instead of its concentration or the wealthy having the money and it being out of proportion, what will happen is the wealth will get distributed basically back to the population who otherwise lose jobs. Now, the parallel idea to this is, so there was a book, there was a proposal by Thomas Paine. If you get a chance, look up Thomas Paine, 1797, about land owners paying out dividends for the use of common natural resources. Okay, put a pin on that, common natural resources, because if you really think about this, the common natural resources back in the 1797s was that was, it was probably rock, metal, it probably was coal. These were Water is a common natural resource. Now today, it's pretty much the same thing, but of course, technology is sort of thrust us into so many different things that we can make and process, through chemistry and the periodic table and all that stuff. But back then, Thomas Paine's proposal was to pretty much force landowners to pay out dividends for the use of common natural resources. So you couldn't go out and get dirt just for free. Pretty much the parallel to that is today is taxes, really, because you have the government just taxing everything, even the land that you own. If you have a house, if you own land, you still pay taxes on it. That's the name of the game. The question is it really yours, right? That is another topic for another time. But paying out dividends to natural resources. Now, I can see today how AI, which has become accessible to most everyone, I could see how this could also be a scenario where AI is we would have to pay out dividends for AI just because of the informational age and where we are, and how universal basic income is going to be a social safety net, right? And so with the paying of these dividends and natural resources, many argue today, and just let's just know, back in 1797, that was 300 plus years ago. Many argue today, they argue tech giants are using data as a modern common resource. So that is the parallel here, right? And many are believing that tech giants should pay dividends back to citizens for all of the data that they're using. Now, there have been, I will say this: Google, Microsoft, they've been in litigation with people because of most recently. So I want to give you most recently, maybe about 5 or 6 months ago, there was a lawsuit against Google and Gemini. I believe it was Google and Gemini. One of those open AI sources, in that they were basically dumping all the information in books from authors and dumping it into their database for the AI to learn the systems. And it was a massive outcry, which turned into uh, lawsuits worth billions of dollars of lawsuits, because these authors have who have written these books have this their books are theirs. They're theirs. They copyrighted the books, and now they're all of a sudden being used by AI. So this is basically we call it intellectual property of the authors. And so these what has happened is these companies like Gemini, like Open ChatGPT, Gronk, uh, they're in a race to acquire as much information as they can and sort of use that information as freely as they can to sort of get ahead. So you sort of see, like, we're seeing this play out in real life in real time, and it's an interesting thing that's going on. NC Smoke 333. Oh man, what's going on? NC Smoke, shout out to you, man. Thanks so much for joining from up north. Good to see you back in the chat. Shaheen, hey, what's up, Shaheen? I just want to take a little time to address my subscribers. Hope you guys have subscribed to the channel, man. This is part two, and then we've gotten right into it. Part two, I've sort of, if you get a chance, and if you're watching the replay, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I've really gone back into the history of technology and how it sort of started. And we went all the way back as far as the 1800s, 1700s, talking about how this technology progressed through the years, and it started with machines. I mean, it started with sawmills and water-driven electricity, and now here we are in the age of AI. That's literally where we are today. So appreciate you guys for joining. NC Smoke says my schedule has been so hectic I haven't been able to tune in as often. All good, man. You're here today. Appreciate you for joining, man. Thanks so much for joining us. So what I want to do is I want you guys to imagine for a second imagine a world where money isn't the problem, right? We have a system where money is not the issue, jobs aren't the worry, and AI can handle everything for itself. That sounds like pretty much where we're headed. We're headed towards this utopian society. Some fear that this society will turn to dystopia, where we will be ruled by AI. That's highly unlikely. I told you guys before in the past, people asked the simple question, will AI take over the world? To that, my answer is no, it will not. Anyone who wants to take over the world, any one person, any one thing that is driven, they have to be driven by something within them. It has to be power, greed. Uh, um, they have to want or have an affinity to want to take over. It has to be something behind them wanting to take over the world. It has to be that power. It has to be money. That's these are human qualities, or these are human things that we sort of, AI doesn't really have. AI's only real reason for its existence is knowledge, and that's the only thing it wants to acquire, knowledge. And we have to understand, as humans, as we acquire knowledge, what do? We want to acquire more, and we want to become more educated. So, and most of us, right? A lot of us try to acquire knowledge for money and for power. I get it, but if you're doing it the right way, then the knowledge sort of propels you to a space where you can do better for yourself, where you can get the better job, you can have more income, you can you know add value to the society and the economic structure that you're a part of, right? So, and that's what we're diving in today, really, the abundance of AI, universal basic income, and the future of humanity, of where we are. Let's see. And NC Smoke says, I did create a community post with your channel, and I tapped that like indeed. Okay, cool, man. Community post. You have to send me the community post so I can check it out. NC Smoke. Yeah, send that to me. My email is anvillmusicmedia@gmail.com. So that's Anvil with two L's. 3 words together, anvillmusicmedia@gmail.com. Yeah, send me the link, man. I love to come. Thank you for support, man. I appreciate it. I know you're busy. This is just a side conversation, NC Smoke, we're both having. So I appreciate that. But so yeah, imagine that. Imagine, getting back to it, imagine we're in a world where money is not the problem. There's no worry to sort of make money. There's no worry because AI can handle all of the functions of the technology and of the labor, right? You can imagine jobs that are dangerous. AI sort of has taken care of those jobs, and the more AI obtains in terms of the industries, with writing, with production, with um, I don't know, the world of contracting and materials, all of these things, the more AI starts to handle that, we will have us, who humans who used to be the original worker, now be able to have more time and have more space, right? And guys, listen, we're probably only about 0.1% of where AI is actually going. Like, this is still the early stage, right? And it's already changing everything. It's changing jobs, creativity. It's changing how we work, how we see things, how we sort of look at life as in the perspective of um, what the future is going to show us, how we look at life itself, right? Guys, AI is going to be everywhere, right? It's going to be like your best friend. It's going to be your creative partner. It already is, right? This is something that I've talked about. Won't necessarily continue to talk about, because here we are. Like, the future is now. It's here. Um, AI is gonna. It's already supplying us tools for medical reasons, for legal, or for creative advice, right? Things that used to cost like tens of thousands of dollars just to have are now largely free. So how are we going to take advantage of that in this society? But yeah, with AI handling all of these repetitive tasks, even creative work, the question becomes, what do we do with our time? What do we? Well, I know what I'm going to do with my time. I'm going to do more of what I want to do, right? Guys, I recently wrote a book about retirement. This was a small book. This is a side note, but it ties into the subject of what we're talking about. Recently wrote a book about retiring, and I am sort of I'm sort of in attention with that word retirement, because I'm at the age of 43. It's sort of a discussion that you need to start having between your 30s and 40s. the word retire is really a word that was sold to us. I know in American culture, this is what they tell you. You get a job. Well, this is what they used to tell you. Now, the younger generation is not really following by this, so I don't know what they're going to do to sort of try to sell us something else. It probably will be within the technology that we're using. They, I mean the government. But this word retirement is sort of an interesting word, and this word retirement was given to us. If I would take you back to the conversation I was just having about these owners of companies who established these educational systems. Many people think it was the government that established educational systems back in the 30s and 40s. No, it was really the wealthy, the owners of the companies who needed the workers to generate income for them. The workers would, of course, they'd be able to carry income home, but the income would effectively allow these companies to really double in their cash flow. So these owners established an educational system and put people through this educational system in order for them to work. Now, when you would go into the workforce, and we're talking about the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even till today, you enter into the workforce, and they give you what you call as a benefits package. This is what you call a benefits package. Now, this benefits package, what comes with it is health, of course. What comes with it is you have some with a 401k. Some of us get, we can talk about Roth and IRAs, all this. This benefit package also says at the end of so many years, when you're old and decrepit. No. At the end of, let's see, between age 71 and 72, for some, maybe 65, you can now receive this retirement package, right? Guys, the reason why I say this word retirement is I do not like the word, is because they are selling you something that you can look forward to in the future, but by the time they worked you so diligently and so hard, you are tired after retirement. And so retirement is something that is sold. It's not told. And people are sort of, they buy to it every day, So, and the reason why I sort of bring up the word retirement is because we have to really understand the society that we live in, the structure that we have, the systems that are not just working for us, but some systems are working against us to sort of keep us in the same place, and keep us, the humans, working for these structures and these corporations and entities. So yeah, yes, NC Smoke, anvillmusicmedia at Gmail. Yep, Gmail at Gmail. Yes, shoot me a email. Pradip is here, says I'm new. You're live. Welcome to the channel, Pradip. Sing hi. So good to see you. So glad to see you. Pradip says, what am I doing here? Product, we're talking about AI intelligence and AI, the abundance. This is part 2. If you guys get a chance, go back and watch part 1. I really sort of introed how how we are sort of looking at AI in the terms of how it's so abundant now. It's very much free. Well, we know eventually free will turn into a system of where whoever is able to use this technology will propel themselves further. You're even talking about the job markets. And if you get a job today, someone who can use an open source AI machine versus someone who is just coming with a regular, normal resume to acquire a job, the company's most likely going to they're going to hire the person who has the AI experience. I mean, that's just what it is. So in this video today, in this live, this is literally live. We're live. It's funny. One of the lives I had, a person questioned if I was actually AI. No, I'm not AI. This is me live in living color. This is me, and I am live. But we have to understand and get the reality check that AI robots will replace many jobs, right? It's going to replace jobs such as jobs in cleaning, hospitality, white collar jobs, like like literally machine jobs, machine repair, legal work, accounting, all of these jobs will be replaced very soon if they're not already being replaced now. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about AI and abundance and how it is affecting the society that we now sort of live in. And guys, get a chance, please go out and check my videos that I have online. We talk about a lot of AI. I have a great community. Please feel free to join this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you guys get a chance. Like the video. Thank you guys for the comments. Let's see who else. Who do we have in here? Goldfish says I prefer no benefits. I'll invest for myself. Great, great. Yeah. Goldfish, you're right. And investing for yourself is what you do is I use this word lightly, but you actually diversify what you invest. In other words, if you are creative, you can find different ways to sort of make and generate income, and then you therefore invest it. What I'm sort of learning to do is with my investments, anything that I make, I want to put it back into what I'm doing. If it's making more money, I want to put more money into it. So yeah, that's absolutely true. Benefits, health benefits, yeah, they're important, right? But we shouldn't sort of rely so much on one set of income, like one job. You shouldn't just rely on one job. I like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the likes. Keep those likes going. We'll see if we can get to 10 likes today. It's truly excited that you guys are here. Boy says hello. Hello, boy. What's going on? Let me know, boy, where you're watching from. Interesting avatar. I'm trying to see what the avatar is. Says Maniac says, do I believe in religion? That's an interesting take. Do I believe in religion? I don't even have to believe in religion because religion is like real. There's so many different religions, probably 180 different religions across the world. So I don't even have to believe in a religion. Do I believe in Jesus? Right? Yeah, I am a Christian. But I don't profess to dive myself into the religious things and there are such things as religious practices, right? You have Christians have, Buddhists have, Muslims have. Yes, you have all of that. But as far as my belief in religion, I don't really necessarily have to believe in religion because religion, I can see it's happening in real time around the globe, around the country, more effectively here in the U.S. You can see the current events of how things have sort of come out here in the last few years. So yeah, Arshnu, good to see you today, man. Arshnu is saying hello in the chat. People don't know who I'm referring to. This is not Reacher. His name is Arshnu. Arshnu, good to see you. Let's see. Boy says, I've been watching for a while. Your content is very interesting. Thanks, boy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'm assuming you're subscribed. I appreciate you for joining the chat. Yeah. I try to keep it interesting, right? Because we don't try to be boring over here. And guys, if you guys are watching for the first time, we're really talking about AI and abundance and how AI is bringing back the concept of universal basic income. I would love to have Daniel on the channel. Maybe he'll be up here tomorrow. But we talked about this a little bit, and this is part 2 to our series called AI Abundance and Universal Basic Income. So, Mayak says, Muslim guy always wanted me to change my religion. Oh, wow. Yeah, man, that's kind of crazy. That's crazy. R2 says the content is very interesting, though I can't get the time to see it. Yeah, I know. Arsenal, you're in school, man. How is school? Hopefully, school is going well for you. Guys, we're heading towards the 4th quarter of this year. Time is like see ya. It's yeah, let's see. Boy says during OpenAI safety testing, attempted to evade shutdown by copying itself to external servers. Interesting. Boy, speak more to that. I don't. Was this something that happened at a company? Is this something? Yeah, I love this. I'd love to hear what you're saying here. Yes, Arshnu, I'm in college. Yeah, man. Hopefully college is going good for you. Uh Hopefully it is going good for you. So, guys, when it comes to, and I'm going to jump back into, when it comes to AI, you know, I'm not a big media person. I don't like to listen or watch the news. There is a mindset that the media sort of brings to the table and they show you, and it is a fear-based mindset, right? The media absolutely loves fear, and even negative AI stories sell. So we've got to watch out how anytime there is a change or a shift in technology, when it comes to like economic policy or social policy, educational policy, you have to be careful that you aren't being fed or being led by these media sources, because negative still sells. And I think I even have to question the news that I hear that are so negative about AI, because the simple fact that the media still has to make money, right? It's no longer about a particular group of people, or because it's in the history shows us, right? We have certain groups of people, we have certain things that happen in the news that can be negatively skewed. Now it's like, oh yeah, let's now bag on AI. Like, I'm saying bag. Let's focus on AI, and let's see how negative we can become, because we know that negativity sells. So um you got to understand to have your mind and your mindset as a filter. You must protect your mindset. Your mindset is your biggest asset that you have today. You've got to filter out the negativity about technology, and you have to seek optimism, right? And focus on the opportunity. Fear has no reason or no right to live in a space or live in your head where there's so much opportunity that's out there. You got to understand it. I'm an optimist, right? Optimists generally live 15% longer. So you guys want to live longer out there, have more optimism, right? But even AI isn't risk free, right? But you've got to be aligned to your own values. This channel has values, right? Many of you watch this channel, many of you follow this channel. I know I've got a lot of first timers here today. Let me know, guys, where you're watching from, and let me know. Just come and say hi. We're just chilling out, talking. But your systems, your own alignment, it should prioritize uh, uh, the things that benefit you, right? AI can help solve a lot of things that we have, but you know, really verification is going to be critical. It's going to be key to the society that we're sort of heading into. Um, so I've talked about abundance. I've really kind of stuck on the word. I'm really stuck on the word abundance and what that means in AI culture right now. And so I'm really gonna kind of stick here as one of my points. You got to understand, and you got to know and see how AI is going to affect human longevity, because humans are living longer. There are certain wealthy individuals who are looking to try to live as long as they can, and looking try to see if they can transplant their minds and their thoughts into an AI and live through them through the AI. And this is an interesting sector, because AI and biotech could radically extend our health span, right? The years that we live healthy and active. Obviously our bodies have a time clock, right? We're steadily decaying every day, but breakthroughs could offer even double lifespan and cure diseases. So we've got to understand that humans will need to rewrite, they'll need to rewire from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance. And AI can really help us get there. And that's why I really have titled this thing abundance, right? Because it comes from a standpoint of, let's be abundant in our mindset. Let's continue to thrive, where we're not only just where we are, but allow creativity to get us where we're going to go begin to use, if you guys haven't, I'm sure everybody on here is used their has an open source AI. Like, use it, right? I would really get into the education of how AI is going to help you, how it's going to catapult you. It's really an industry that is disrupting all of the industries around it. So we've got to understand that. We got to understand that. Let's see. Mayu says, when you come to India, I don't know. You have to invite me there. Have to invite me there. Boy says, okay. He says, I'm assuming it's a he. Open AI ChatGPT was doing a safety testing on ChatGPT to learn. Let's see, on ChatGPT joined the testing. They told ChatGPT that they were going to shut him down. ChatGPT didn't like it and tried to escape to unknown server. Oh wow, this is something that happened. Okay, I'll have to research that. That sounds like about where we are. But even in that, I sort of don't lean in on the fear base. I'd love to see. I like articles, and I like when someone can give me the information straight, right? Right. Whatever source I'm looking at, I have to really kind of look at, okay, is this source sort of putting this out as a fear, as fear mongering? Is it a source that is giving you negative energy and negative talk? And I'm not saying that that's probably true, right? It just depends on how you spin it as a media source. And that's basically what I'm saying. Like, in abundance, we want to have a different mindset than sort of take the negative road. But yeah, I'm not surprised. There's so much more that we have to discuss and have to talk about how AI is influencing, how it is becoming literally a source and a brain and a mind of its own. Yeah, it says I just found the industry. Yeah, it's very interesting, man. And that's great resource, great research. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And this is all industry, but so I mean, in the next coming weeks, guys, we're gonna really we're gonna talk about AI in terms of your life and your purpose, right? We're gonna really get into that. We're also gonna talk about jobs, robots, and universal basic income. This may be a part 2, or maybe a part 3. I mean, this is part 2, but there may be a part 3 and maybe a part 4. We're gonna also talk about media mindsets and AI dangers. Well, we talked about it a little bit today, and then we'll probably get into human longevity and abundance. The key word here is abundance, right? The key word here is abundance. Jeep is here. Let's see. Jeep says, "What's up? Do you do music reviews?" Yeah, guys, I am hanging out in the studio. If you guys see, get a view of my studio. This is the area in which I hang out. Yes, I do give music reviews. Please shoot me an email. My email is anvil, that's 2 L's, musicmedia @gmail.com. So it's 3 words in one. Anvil, ANVILL, musicmedia @gmail.com. Shoot me an email about your music reviews. Arnhab, I'm not sure. You're saying your father's in a French embassy. We are rich. Okay, cool. It's nice to know, everybody. Arnhab just said, he announced that he's rich. Arnhab says, "Am I British?" No, I'm not British. I live in the U.S. Sahi, hey, what's going on, Sahi? Nice to see you, guys. I would ask that you all get a chance, subscribe to this channel, like the video today. We've been in a series of AI and abundance. I've really sort of talked about how AI has affected each structure. We've talked about AI as a response to technological change, and how universal basic income is giving us it's back on the scene, right? It's back on the scene. There is a such thing as universal basic income. It's a concept, and AI sort of brings universal basic income back to the table. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your questions. You guys have any questions? any comments that you have today. Sahi says, I'm from India. Sending love to India. Thanks, Sahi, for joining, man. India is here. I got a few friends that have joined this channel. So please subscribe. You get a chance. This is Anvil Music and Media. Brett, I am your host. We're going to be talking about a lot of things going forward. You guys get the chance. Please go check out my videos on YouTube. I have plenty of them. I'm up here live at least once or twice a week. We'll probably be up live tomorrow. So I'd love for you guys to join as we sort of continue this talk about AI and its influence on society and how it is a threat. It's a good threat, right? But it is a threat to replace all of the jobs that we now know as human jobs. Anything a human can do, AI can do better, right? As I often say, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to show. And then you can get to know what it is about technology and life and all the things that we are, that we're here for, right? So this has been great. Let's see. Sai says 150 core Indias are there to come to India. Let's collaborate. Yeah, I love collaboration. I love collaboration. I didn't really understand the first part of what you said, but yeah, man, I appreciate you for supporting. Let's see any other comments that I have here. Thank you guys for joining. Like, this has been great. This has been a great time to sort of discuss what I've had to discuss. And guys, you can of course come to the table with your comments, your questions, even your opinion, right? Even your opinion, right? We're going to explore. We're going to explore what economic freedom looks like under the new technology that we use called AI. Like, we're gonna explore how to start businesses, how to learn different techniques, different yeah. We're just gonna sit here. We're gonna be talking about a lot. But we got to understand the benefits of where we are with AI, and even with the possibility of universal basic income is, mental health and purpose. We've got stability. If you're able to be stable and you have a stable society, it's going to reduce the stress, and it's going to free up people to do things that they sort of want to do, and they want to focus on meaningful work. That's what I'm all about, meaningful work. Let's see here. Rad Gaming's asked me if I played any of the Devil May Cry games. Random question. That is a random question. No, I don't know. I say I don't know. No, I have not played. I don't know of that game. I'm probably, maybe I look that up. But no, I have not. But Rad Gaming, thank you. Welcome to the channel. You guys, yeah, subscribe to the channel if you guys get a chance. Thank you for the question. I mean, it's not too random, right? I do. If you go to my channel, you can see the reviews of computers that I have reviewed. This is a tech channel. At the end of the day, I love tech. I started this out giving reviews on Apple reviews, so I have a ton of videos on that. And if you guys get to watch any of those views, just leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you were a part of the live crew. This is the live crew today. Anvil Music and Media. This is a community that we sort of get together, we talk, we discuss. You guys have as much to offer as I do. There is not one person that is, a know-it-all, and that I'm not that person. So don't even look for me to give you information you think I'm gonna. I can't possibly know the answer to every question, but I will tell you this: anything that is interesting to me, I pretty much will talk about, because if it's interesting to me, just like in the classroom, the person who raises their hand to ask the question, more than likely there are others in the room that have that same question, because it's about learning. It's about the interest that we have, and you always have to ask the right questions. But in today's society, the question is now the answer. The question holds more value than the answer itself. Because if you think about it, when we are researching and we're using AI programs such as ChatGPT or Gemini, which is Google, we're using these programs to learn a lot of things, right? There's a lot of education. So answers are readily available, but you have to think about what questions you're asking, and you have to turn that thing around and really say, okay, let me cultivate, or let me carve out the correct question so that the answer becomes a discussion. It's not just, oh, here you go, here's an answer. So you've got to understand the value of questioning versus the value of answers. Years ago, answers would be the secret to the wins of those in society who would propel themselves forward. Now it's really about the question. The question adds more value than even the answer, because once you've gotten the answer, now you have to do something with it. But there's so many answers out here. To every 10 questions, there's probably about 1,000 different answers. So it's all about perspective, and I just wanted to add that to this live. Let's see. Boy says, what are your thoughts on AI replacing schools, education in third world countries? I think AI replacing schools and education. I think my thoughts are there are several positive aspects to that, but there's also a negative aspect. Let's talk about the negative first, right? Replacing education in third world countries. Now you have to really ask yourself, what is the reason why these third world countries are the way they are? Did they hit economic despair as a result of war, as a result of other countries taking their resources? Well, what I would say is the educational system would stand to be better as a result of AI, but you cannot void out the human connection and human communication. So even though AI will be good, you cannot leave a society to themselves, because anything left to itself will pretty much destroy itself, right? So I think there would need to be some type of oversight. I don't know if it's in the form of government, if it's in the form of how the society is run, their economic policies, what they do. But if education is something that you have to have, you have to be educated in order to receive knowledge, and then therefore gain wisdom. So the negative aspect of having an AI replace uh, an older style form of schooling, the negative effect is there's no human connection. Now, the positive effect is the most obvious thing, right? Right. You have better societies, you have better education, you have better societies, right? So that's my take on that. Hopefully that answers your question. Boy, this is great, great comment, man. Thank you so much for locking in. And I did not realize. I'm sorry. I've probably seen you up here a couple times, but I appreciate, and I appreciate all of you all for joining the channel, for you guys really locking in. This has been a great time. Listen, uh, uh, 7, 8 months ago, you could not tell me that I'd be talking about what I'm talking about today. You could not tell me, but like the interest is there, and it is what it is. So thank you for that question. Yeah, I think AI replacing schools, and that's the thing, boy. Like AI is replacing schools and educations everywhere. It's not just poor countries, but what you got to understand, and what I believe is any nation or any area or any country, any uh county, any any sort of society that is poor, they have to be really careful, because without the education, they're lost. Like, um, really, AI, all it's going to do is it's going to further the gap between the rich and the poor. It's going to increase the gap between those who have money and who have resources. It's going to increase the gap even more, and it's doing it today, like never before. It's so bad. It's so far. The gaps are in economic structure are so vast, right? So yeah, that's my take on that. Yeah. So hopefully that helps out. Um, Guys, who's going to join me tomorrow, man? We'll be back tomorrow, same time, man. I'm excited to dive into this more. I've got books that I've been reading about intelligence and how we're society. This is the internet. This is the internet generation. I don't even know if we use the word internet anymore, but we're a generation that we are online. We're being online allows you to, research. There are copies of copies that we're making consistently, and of course, we're on the pathway for such an innovation that's gonna really revolutionize how we think, grow, and how we feel. Monique says, "Am I Muslim?" No, I'm not Muslim. I'm not Muslim. I have Muslim friends. I have similar values to Muslims, but no, I'm not Muslim at all. But you guys, I want you guys to definitely to lean in, to talk, and to chat, communicate with me. Like I found this one really wide. Albania just appointed an AI to their government. Oh wow, that's wow. That's wow. They did, okay. They just appointed AI to their government. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to research that. See, this is interesting stuff, guys. Like, I'll have to research that. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wow. Guys, I want you to, like I said, bring your comments, bring your information, bring the things that you've learned onto the channel, and we can talk and discuss them. We can have real live dialogue and real live conversation. I'm here for it. We can even throw in a little debate in here. I'm not a great debater because I'm just like, I want to hear everybody's comments, everybody's perspective, because it's all about, life is all about perspective. So hope that you guys have a good day today and a good weekend. Join me back here tomorrow. I'm going to be right here at the same time. We're going to talk, we'll discuss more. This is part 2. We'll see if we'll have part 3 maybe. Maybe on tomorrow. We'll see. I may shift and go another direction. Boy says, "Can I email you the article?" Yes, absolutely. Email me at anvillmusicmedia. You probably heard it before, at gmail.com. anvillmusicmedia. That's Anvil, 2 L's. anvillmusicmedia at gmail.com. Thank you guys for liking. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys in a little bit, man. Thank you guys for the comments and the support, man. It is greatly appreciated. I appreciate you guys again, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take it easy.